Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Carolyn McGee, and I am an angelic life coach, Reiki master teacher, and intuitive healer. My mission is to empower you to enhance your intuition, to trust your divine guidance, and to manifest abundance of all types. So I am here every Wednesday at noon Eastern to answer your questions, provide a little bit of divine guidance, and just to help you walk a little bit closer to your path, to your divine life purpose. So you can always reach me on my website, which is carolynmcgee.com. You can certainly email me, carolyn@carolynmcgee.com, and you can find me on Facebook too. So if you have questions or if there's a way that I can help you, please reach out to me. Very happy to do so. And I did receive a number of questions this week, so I am going to be answering those. And for those of you who are joining me live, please feel free to reach out, type into the question box if you are online, or pop in. I am happy to connect with you. So here we go. To start with, like I always do, I like to just do a very brief opening. So I'm going to pull a card for all of us, just to kind of set the intention for us. And I am using the Ascended Masters deck for this particular one. And let's see how we are going to start our time together here. All right. This is a great reminder for everyone. I have mentioned before that a lot of times the words don't necessarily mean anything, but in this particular case, they absolutely do. It is a beautiful reminder of how important it is to receive. My guidance is that prayer is asking. We ask the divine or God for support, for answers, for a miracle, whatever it is we need or want. And when we sit in stillness or meditate, or when we are intentional in stillness of our mind, it can be walking meditation, it can be doing the dishes mindfully, vacuuming mindfully, however it works for you. You are clearing your mind of all that monkey chatter that goes up in there. And that allows you to receive the divine guidance that is available to you. When your mind is really focused on the next thing I need to do, or how am I going to take care of this, and it's how, you can't receive the information. And a lot of times you're going to miss the simplicity, the very simple answer, or perhaps the gift that's just sitting there waiting for you. So this is just a reminder for all of us to sit in, not necessarily sit in stillness, but be in stillness, be present, and allow our mind open to be open to receive. So there you go. Great way to begin. Okay, now, all right, we do not have any questions other than the ones, lots and lots of ones that were submitted ahead of time. So I am just going to start with those. The first question we got was from somebody who prefers not to have their name mentioned, but they did say that they have a family member that does not deal with confrontation or disagreements of any manner well. Completely shuts down and just refuses to talk about what the differences are. They have a great relationship and can continue to talk about everything except for, and be together, except for the particular disagreement, but it makes it uncomfortable for this person. So I am going to reach out to the saints and angels and see what they have to say about that. All of my angel guides up here. Okay, let us see. Okay, love this card, forgiveness. We all have our own unique ways of dealing with things. And this is an invitation to look beyond the obvious and to forgive your differences. Not everybody is able, emotionally able, or even mentally able to have deep conversations. A lot of times people hold things deep in their heart, and it's hard for them to expose themselves, to be that vulnerable. So they have like a shield around their heart. They just don't have the basis, maybe the faith. I noticed that Mary Magdalene is wearing a lot of red. It's a very foundational color. Funny enough, I'm wearing red today too. It's often associated with how you feel like you fit in the family. So if this particular person doesn't have a strong sense of faith in their worth in the family or how they fit in the family, anytime that that question comes up, or there's something that makes them feel like there's a break, they may shut down. So it's a suggestion to I think to go internally and to try and resolve it mainly with yourself. One of the great ways to do that is to journal. Another great way is to write a letter to this family member and just state how you feel. Now, I don't suggest that you write, a resentful letter and then hand it to them or mail it to them, but you could write the letter, express all of your emotions, and then burn it. That's a really great way to energetically clear. Last week, we also talked, I believe it was last week or the week before, we talked about the Hawaiian forgiveness exercise, where you hold the energy in your hand. So you could think about that. You could hold the energy in your hand of this person not being able to communicate about difficult subjects, and forgive them and forgive yourself. Perhaps there's a little bit of pushing associated on both sides, or a lack of communication. So that's the best way that I can suggest. Let me see if there's anything else coming through. Oh, another card. Okay, so okay, and the information that comes through with this card is for you to look at all the positives in the relationship and keep those blessings at your forefront. I'm also hearing that it's not necessary or in your highest good to completely ignore whatever the difference is, but to bring it up once, make sure that you are heard, because it's healthy for you to be able to express your opinion, and then let it go. But it is something that needs to be spoken, needs to be put out there. You see all the abundance of information, if you want to say. So put it out there, and then if the other person refuses to have a discussion about it, then you can just work through your feelings about it on your own. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I can give you some more tips. All right, let's see what our next question is. Okay. Oh, here's a great one. A friend is having pain and discomfort in her elbow. What could be going on energetically with her for her to not let it go? Well, I love Louise Hay. She is one of my favorites. And I actually have an app on my phone called Heal Your Body A to Z. You can see it. You can download it. It's for any smartphone application. It's one of my favorites. I highly recommend you always go there if you have something going on in your physical body, to be able to understand what the connection is, and because there is a very strong mind-body connection. So in this particular case, for the elbow, oh, and she's got some fabulous books too, but I just happen to like the app because it's always with me. So for the elbow, the probable cause is it represents changing directions and accepting new experiences. And a new thought pattern is I flow easily with new experiences, new directions, and new changes. So for your friend, I suggest some tapping. Let's do a little bit of tapping about change and see if that can help her open her mind up a little bit to new possibilities and new opportunities. So a quick review for people who are not familiar with tapping. I am just going to show you the points. The way I tap is just jump right in. I find that to be the most beneficial for me and for my clients. So we start at the eyebrow point right in here. I also like to tap with two hands. There is no wrong way to do this. You just want to try and hit these meridian points so that you can open up the energy. And the way tapping works is we release the negative emotion that is associated with a thought or a pattern or an experience, and then we replace it with something positive. It's pretty fabulous. The next point is right here, the side of the eyes, under the nose, on your chin, collarbone, and then just underneath your arm at each point. I am not going to stand up every time you go around, but I am just going to show you those points. Oh, and we end up here on the crown. Okay, so let's see. Changing directions, new experiences, and new directions. Well, let's just kind of relax our bodies a little bit. Let that energy flow. Make sure you don't have anything crossed. I mean, we're going to be using your hands, so those are going to be open, but you also want to have your legs uncrossed so the energy can move through you. And it's great if you can put them on the floor, on the ground, so to speak. It just allows it to have a place to go. Okay. Wow, change is very difficult for me. Even when I know it's good for me. Oh, and by the way, you just repeat back what I'm saying. Even though I know it's good for me, I'm resistant to change. I always like to know where I'm going. I have the end goal in mind. I have everything planned out. And it's very frustrating for me when things change. I'm not a fan of change. As a matter of fact, change makes me stressed out. I can feel myself blocking energy. I'm holding it in my body. I'm holding it in my shoulders. I am holding it in my elbow. I'm holding it in my digestive system. I'm blocking flow from going through me. I'm holding in all of these emotions and experiences because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the unknown. What could happen? What if? I don't like living this way. So what if I reframe this energy just a little bit? What if I open up my mind? I love that confirmation. And my heart, body, and soul to possibilities. That new experiences are amazing. That I am always supported. That I do not need to do. I only need to allow. That change is amazing. That everything in my life is good and positive. That feels really good in my body. I can feel my body relaxing. I can feel my body opening. I can feel my energy flowing easier. So just for today, in this moment, I choose to be more flexible. I choose to be more open-minded. I choose to see possibility. I choose to see change as an opportunity. Okay, so just kind of let that energy flow a little bit through you. Feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more flexible, and would love to hear or see some feedback from folks after you do that round to see how you were feeling. Like, how would you rate your anxiety about change and being flexible on a scale of 1 to 10 before you did the tapping, and then how you feel it would be afterwards. So I know I struggle with that a little bit, and I probably would have put mine around a 7 or an 8 before, because I've got some change things coming into my life, and certainly have a little bit of anxiety about that. And I'd say I'm probably down to about a 3 or a 4, so it's still some work for me to do. I may go back and watch this again later and do the tapping when I can just do it for me. So that's another thing that it's always really good to do, is to go back and redo a particular round of tapping. The repetition, it's almost like an onion. You're taking off the first layer, and then you can kind of reset and feel how you are in your body, and then you can go back and you can do it again. So it's always there for you to help you. All right, great. So let's see what other questions we have here. So this is a question from Jacqueline. She says, I'm gonna put this up here so I can still be looking kind of at you. My father has dementia. What do they go through when they have it? What kind of insight can you give into an elder person's life? Is it frustrating to them? And are they aware that they can't remember? He appears to be always in his head and in an angry way, as if he's talking to himself. Oh, like the little boy who was never allowed to speak, and now it's coming out in an angry way. It's very sad for her. Okay, so let's... Okay, Archangel Michael wants to come out and play. And we may have some other things mixing up in here too. So let's see how the angels can help us get some clarity on. Okay, this is fabulous. Eternal love. So the prayer on here, it's funny how the words are really popping out and coming into play for us this week, is help me perceive all of the love that surrounds me so I can feel safe receiving, expressing, and giving love. And what I am hearing for you, and if you notice how the angel is completely wrapped the person, not only with their arms, but also with their wings. So it's an opportunity to remember that we are always loved, and there is always love available to us. Even if the person does not have the ability to, if the physical person, if the ego person does not have the ability to return that. One of the suggestions that I'm hearing is for you to go into meditation and try and connect your higher self with the higher self of it was your father. So you can do this in meditation. It's something that I could certainly help you with if you would like a little bit of guidance with it. But you can sit quietly in meditation and in a safe place, bring in your higher self and your angels, and then invite in your Father's higher self and his angels and guides. And then you will be able to have a conversation from a divine perspective, be able to find out how best to support him in his current phase. What is it that he needs from you? You also will be able to answer some of the questions that you asked in your email. What is it like? Does he remember? How can you best support him? Is it best that he doesn't remember? Is this part of his journey? I'm feeling that a lot of these questions will come through for you. I am going to pull a couple more cards and see if I can get you some more detail, but it does feel like it's part of your journey to be able to connect with him in this phase in a different manner. You are now an adult, so there is not the same fear with the anger that he's exhibiting. And there's fear in a different way, for his safety, for the safety of the other loved ones around him, but it's not a childlike fear. So you are in a much better place to open up your heart and your mind to where he is and how you can best support him. And it does feel like it's part of your journey to be able to reach out and do that on your own. I am going to pull a couple more cards though, because it feels like that's not complete right yet. So this is from the Saints and Angels deck. One of the things that I love about Saint Anthony and his energy in this card is the ability to reach out telepathically. If you look at all the bright light, the halo, so to speak, around him, I view that as the meditative energy, as our connection to God, to the angels, and also to one another. When I do animal communication, I reach out telepathically to the animals, and that's what it is. It's visions and energy that is sent from me, my higher self, with my angels, to the higher self of the animal. And this is your father is kind of in a state where he will be able to connect with you that way. So more on an energetic level versus the typical human level. His brain has gone through some major changes, and he is not capable anymore of interacting in the traditional manner, of interacting in the same way. And it does feel like that there's a very big gift for him in this, and also for you. And a lot of it, I think, does have to do with the forgiveness and letting go of the past. It's a way for you to clear away some of the energy from growing up, and also just even recent events in your family, and let those all go before he transitions. So there's a really clean, and I'm not saying he's transitioning soon, but it's a process for you to raise your own energy and really be able to step into some kind of a leadership role within the family to support the family from a more loving place, is what I'm hearing. So that it's going to be it's going to be a higher vibration rather than fear-based, which is kind of the way the family has interacted to this point in time. It's now going to be much more loving and heart-connected. And we have one more card that wants to pop out. Okay, back to the Ascended Masters. Lakshmi. Now, if you notice, she in this picture has two sets of arms. So this tells me that there's going to be multiple roles that you're going to play in this. So that there's the physical piece, the taking to the doctor, to the basic physical caretaking, and then there is the reaching out to spirit. if you notice, like in her hands, she's holding on to, you know, physical things, and then she's got flowers in the other sets of hands. So that's an indication to me of dealing in the physical realm with the situation, and also reaching out to the divine. And you can see the flowers she's got are fully open, they're blossomed, they are beautiful. So that is the connection and reaching out to the divine that is going to help you connect deeper. So I don't think I specifically answered your questions or some of your questions, but I did give you a pathway for you to be able to get those answers. And sometimes it's in our highest good to find the answers ourselves. So I hope that was beneficial for you. And as I said, if you have any additional questions or would like some help getting into that meditative state, please do reach out to me. And that goes for everybody. If you have a question, if there is something that is suggested to you that you're not exactly sure how to manage on yourself, please reach out to me. You can reach me through Facebook, on my website, or you can certainly email me, and I'm very happy to support you in any way that I can. Okay, let us see what else is coming up in here. Okay. One of the things that you might see me doing is kind of just doing this shrug or, you know, moving my body, deep breaths. It's the way I like to clear my own personal energy in between readings, even though it's still all a mental download from me, you know, through all of my clear senses. When I am connecting in with the angel energy, it allows me to kind of clear the tie to that particular energetic question and move into the space for the new one. So you're going to see me kind of do a little bit of shrugging and typically a couple of deep breaths, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on in here too. So that is the reason why. And it's always good for people in general when you are kind of closing out a conversation, especially if it's a difficult one. If we go back to the earlier question on confrontation, to kind of shrug off the question. You can brush it off too. I am learning Qigong, and I'm having a fabulous time with it. And one of the exercises for the end of the day to kind of clear up the Qi and get rid of some of that lingering energy that we've picked up during our day is to literally brush it off. So there is another little tip for you guys to either do that in between events, like if you're going from one meeting to the next, or one difficult conversation to the next, or even a different project, so that you're really setting the energy specifically for that project. And love to hear your feedback on that. Okay. So, as I said, I had to do my little movement here. Moving into the next question, and this is actually, unless somebody pops onto the website directly, the last question I will do for today. Do have a few more that we can answer next week. And as I said, please do submit your questions ahead of time, because I'm happy to help you. Okay, this question is from Ina. And she said, being a woman over 50, I'm feeling like I'm in transition. I'm expanding spiritually and emotionally. I'm really stepping out into who I truly am. But at the same time, I'm starting to be premenopausal. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm in an ending and a beginning. And she just asked for some insight on that, which I guess that's a great question that a lot of people are going to want to know the answer for. Just going to turn my sound off. There we go. Okay. So let's see what they have to say. It's kind of like Christmas every time I pull a card. It's so fun. You never know what's going to come out or who's going to come out to play. It's actually a lot of fun. Okay, St. Francis, one of my all-time favorites. Something that people may not know is that I also have a traditional business, in-home pet care and daily dog walking, and I absolutely love it because I do interact with loving animal creatures every single day. And it's absolutely amazing how gentle and present they are and what beautiful teachers they are. So with St. Francis popping forward for you, you can see the words say follow your heart, but if you look at the energy coming through from his heart, I think that is really the answer for you on these changes, is what feels good for you. Yes, your body is changing. You are going through a transition. You are having an end of the traditional birth cycle, so to speak, so that that your menses is starting to slow down. The ability to give birth to a physical child is slowing down. But along with that, there is an awareness and an opening and it's almost like I'm seeing things kind of coming in here and then up. So it's almost like an hourglass that comes in, and there is a new possibility. It's a new way of living. It's almost as if you do take a physical hourglass and turn it upside down and get a new start again. But you get a start from all of that knowledge that you've gathered. If you can visualize an hourglass with the sand in the top and it filters down into the bottom part, so that's all the knowledge that you've gained so far to this point in your life. You have birthed a child. You have experiences from many different jobs. You have relationships with parents and family and loved ones. So you have all of that beautiful knowledge that is now down in the bottom part of the hourglass. And the vision they're giving me is that as you kind of transition out of that physical birthing process, or the ability to birth, and the hormones and everything in your body changes, you are now flipping that hourglass upside down, but keeping all of that beautiful knowledge. And it's not just knowledge from mental, it's also emotional and spiritual knowledge. So you've got all of this to start again. Oh, my hands just feel so full. It feels really, really fabulous. So now you get to take all of that information, all of that love, really, that's what it is. It's love. All of that love and friendship and community and everything that you have built to this point in time, and allow it to flow through you, just like the hourglass, it goes through and create something new. And then there will be another phase in your life too, as you are starting to get to the point where you want to retire, and then you get to take the whole thing again and turn it upside down. So it's a process, a funnel, so to speak, moving with joy, and it doesn't have to be constricted. I know that the vision of a typical hourglass, if you're thinking about it, can be very constrictive, and it's tiny, and you don't want it to pass through because it's usually counting down to something. Like I'm actually seeing the Wicked Witch and the Wizard of Oz right now. So they're saying don't use that visual of something that's going to be counting down to a negative, but rather use it as you've got all of this fabulous information and it is coming together and passing through and then joining something else. So it's a collection, it's a collaborative, it's a foundation. If you think about the way the sand or whatever it is in the bottom of an hourglass layers down on top of each other, it builds a really solid foundation for the next layer of information to come in. So it feels really, really positive, with just a little tiny shift of perspective around what an hourglass typically is. Now I'm also feeling guided. Nope, we're not done with this one yet. Okay, so if you notice here, there's also 2 doves. And for me, doves have a lot to do with Christ consciousness energy, the Holy Spirit. Whether you believe in Christianity or not, the Christ consciousness avatar energy is about love. It's all about unconditional love and community. So that's an opportunity to kind of expand out of the smaller traditional family is what I'm hearing. So a lot of times when we are in, you know, in this phase as we're going through kind of in the traditional childbearing years, so to speak, it's about our immediate family, our traditional family. It's about, you know, caretaking for children or caretaking for our job, caretaking for our animals. It's more small, local. As we get into this phase where we are moving out into the world and we've tipped everything upside down and we're starting forward a little bit, then it becomes more global. It's a different perspective. And that's what the Christ consciousness feels to me, that it's more about global community and really making a shift and a change in many more people's lives rather than just our own small smaller circles. Okay, still feeling, yes, one more. Okay. Okay, so the teacher card. Now this is a fabulous card, and I think during this transition phase also, one of the opportunities that we get is we do kind of go from the student to the teacher. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, I joke with my daughter all the time and tell her that she taught me everything I know about being a mother. So she really was my teacher and I was a student. I was learning how to be a mom and support her from what she needed, how she acted, how she reacted, and we were teaching each other. So, you know, now it's an opportunity at this phase in your life to be able to take all of that knowledge. And it doesn't have to be learning from a child, from a physical child, whether it's your child or someone else's child. The information that we have gathered all through this time phase becomes relevant. It can be information that you learned from work. It can, you know, it can be from classes. All of these really beautiful nuggets of information are now being able to be pulled together and consolidated. I'm hearing stirred into your beautiful creation. So now as you enter this phase of your life where you are not in the traditional childbearing, but more childbearing as in new ideas and creativity out into the world, it's your opportunity to be the teacher and teach from your own unique experience and perspective. I think that's something that a lot of times we forget about. We forget that we each are unique and we have our own special spin. A few weeks ago, I think I did the thing that my dog used to do to me when he didn't really understand something. And I actually had this experience last night. I had heard something on Ina's teleclass that she's doing that I'd heard in a different way before, but it didn't completely make sense for me. But the way she presented it made sense. All of a sudden, I really got it. And so this is an opportunity to be able to really shine and take that experience and keep presenting things with your own unique flavor, with your perspective that can help other people get it. Because there are people who resonate with each one of us. There's people who are going to be drawn into to me that may not be drawn to you. There's people that are going to be drawn to you that may not be drawn to me. And the same for everybody else. Everybody has their own unique audience and people who are waiting to learn from them. And that's what's so fabulous about this phase of life, is that we are all able to step out with our uniqueness, our unique light, our unique love, and make that offer to the world to be seen and allow the people who need us to find us. So I hope that was helpful. Okay, let's see if there is anything, not anything new right now. Okay, so I am going to briefly tell you how to reach me if you have a question. I would love to hear from you, whether it is feedback on this particular episode or if you have a question that you would like me to answer for next time. I am here every Wednesday at noon Eastern. on Google. And you can also reach me by email, Carolyn@carolynmcgee.com, or on a website, carolynmcgee.com. And of course, Facebook. I love Facebook. It's always fun to reach out and connect with people. So would love to do that either on my page or personally. So to close, I am being guided to play with fairies. And that card literally jumped right out to us. Admit your true feelings to yourself. It's another moment of reflection. You know, the first card was about meditation, and this is also about reflection and going in. So it's just another invitation to be in integrity with yourself, to feel your feelings, be honest with what they are, put them out to the people that need to hear them, whether it's yourself or someone else. And keep yourself open to hear, to receive, to see. Don't be open to all of the beautiful guidance that's available to you when you are in stillness, in whatever way that works for you. So beautiful circle here, beautiful opening, beautiful closing. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. You make my heart expand just by your loving energy, whether you are here live or joining after the fact. I am so grateful for you all. Until next week. Mwah.